Well, ladies and gentlemen, it seems like Disney and Marvel are finally listening to the fans because, Thunderbolts was pretty good.
Look at you. So adorable.
Let me just quickly get this out of the way. If y'all motherfuckers were perfectly fine with Samuel L. Jackson portraying a character that was originally white in the comics and in some of the old school cartoons, then y'all would have been fine with Steven Yeun portraying Sentry, who isn't really a character that is known by anyone other than the people who read the comics. As far as I'm concerned, 80 to 90% of audiences couldn't give two shits who Sentry is portrayed by because they don't know who Sentry is. And in this film's depiction of Sentry, Steven Yeun would have done a brilliant job, but I'm not gonna take away anything from Lewis Pullman, who also does an amazing job. He was great as Bob from Top Gun Maverick. He is just as good here as the Sentry as Bob. We follow Yelena, portrayed by Florence Pugh, who's currently going through some kind of midlife crisis. She's working ops for the director of the CIA, Valentina, portrayed by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and so are all these other misfits continuously working jobs to run away from their issues. Besides Bucky, who has already conquered his past in the Falcon and Winter Soldier series, who has apparently decided to leave the life of heroics behind and become a congressman, which is an interesting direction. But as y'all already know from the trailers, he definitely gets his hands dirty once again. Realizing that they've all been set up by Valentina to kill each other, they ultimately decide to work together to get revenge on Valentina. But perhaps there is a bigger threat on the Avengers level. Without spoiling anything, there is something that happens within like the first 10 to 15 minutes that I was not expecting, and I am fully 100% on board with that decision. Some folks out there have taken the liberty to express online how disappointed that Marvel took this direction with this thing, but personally, I couldn't give two shits. I don't think anyone else really gave a fuck as well. If anything, I think we're all glad that Marvel decided to make this really, honestly, not even a hard choice, especially with just how shitty it was and is from a previous film. I'm happy with the decision, and it really proves that Marvel is trying to listen to us. I love what's happening with each and every single one of these characters and how they're getting some kind of redemption arc. Wyatt Russell as the US agent is just fantastic here after what happened to him in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I love that they brought him back here and allowed him to shine a whole lot more and have an arc. The return of Hannah John Kamen as Ava, or the Ghost from Ant-Man 2, is a lot of fun. With her abilities to phase through matter, it just makes so much sense that she's in this movie, and she also adds a lot to the dynamic here, being the other woman that's playing off of Florence Pugh. And Valentina, of course. Although I was kind of hoping to see more of Lawrence Fishburne, but I guess we can wait. David Harbour as the Red Guardian just has to be one of the most perfect castings of all time. Of course, they probably could have found an actual Russian person to portray Alexei, but he is so good here that I don't think anyone minds. He's the comedic character throughout this entire film, and David Harbour just fucking rocks, man. The dude just kills it. Every single fucking scene, every line that he has, it works. Everyone in my theater were giggling with him because he's the enthusiastic one. He's the one who really wants to try to shine and become a hero again. I must reiterate, the dynamic between each and every single one of these characters is just so much goddamn fun. They play off of each other so well. You can see the chemistry off of all of these actors. They are definitely having a good time. At first, I was a little apprehensive with the marketing, the trailers, and how they were making Yelena as sort of like the leader of this group. But as the film progresses, it makes a lot of sense, and she's not actually the leader per se. It's actually more Bucky. But this movie is definitely her movie because we get to learn more about her and what she went through as a child growing up, basically being trained since a child into adulthood as an assassin. There are some great characterization and backgrounds provided for each of the characters besides Ghost, who is unfortunately the only one that I didn't really learn or grow to care for. But then again, I think we already learned everything we needed to know about her in the Ant-Man movie, so she's good. I don't think I need to say anything about Sebastian Stan as Bucky, right? I mean, of course he's amazing as Bucky, and what they do with him in this film is just It's just awesome. The production of this movie is great. You can tell that Marvel probably learned their lesson from Love and Thunder and decided to put some more money and time into the VFX. And the fight scenes in this movie are just fucking badass. The cinematography is so goddamn sexy. Let's address the elephant in the room here. Sentry, portrayed by Lewis Pullman, who is fantastic and does a great job as Sentry. I just think the way they handled this character was kind of disappointing. Maybe not exactly how they handled him, just more of how they, I guess, sort of developed him towards the end of this film, where he becomes the main big baddie. As interesting as Valentina is, I didn't find myself all that worried or invested in her, but I did enjoy what she was trying to do with Sentry. I just think this movie could have used an extra 15 to 20 minutes to make that twist with Sentry a bit more feasible, maybe? Yeah, I'm just gonna say it. The third act of this film is probably the weakest part, but it's still enjoyable and definitely scary as fuck when Sentry is going all out with his powers. And if you've been wondering why there is an asterisk at the end of the title of Thunderbolts, you're definitely gonna find out why. And the post-credit scene is definitely worth it. Do not miss it. To quickly sum up my thoughts about Thunderbolts, I think it is a step back in the right direction by Marvel and Disney. It is definitely one of the best Marvel projects that we've gotten in a while, and I'm so goddamn excited for what is being set up here. Is it perfect? Is it gonna be the movie of the year? Absolutely not. But it is definitely an enjoyable film that captures the heart and spirit that Guardians of the Galaxy, that first film, had. Maybe not as colorful, and a third act that definitely begs for more, but this movie is one hell of a time and has me eager to watch Fantastic Four when that shit comes out, baby. Alright, that's enough of me. I'll catch you guys next time.